As the U.S.-China trade war continues, what is the true impact of tariffs on the American people? Hard turn here to Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit rubbed off on me. I'm being a little bombastic.
Yes, there you go.
Right? Not
like
unlike
it.
Mark Cuban. Yeah, I was down in Texas yesterday, 2 days ago, I should say, Tuesday, and had a really nice conversation with Mark Cuban, and it was wide-ranging. I mean, he's not short of opinions generally and on any subject. And, of course, we did talk about tariffs and his take on things, so take a listen to what he had to say. So have you talked to him and given him any advice, or what advice would you give him?
I mean, I'm not a fan of the tariffs. You know, if I understand what he's trying to do in terms of battling China, I would approach it differently, because I think tariffs are a tax on the American people.
Yeah, I mean, a tax on the American people is kind of a harsh takeaway, but, you know, he's been critical of President Trump before, and I think that people understand that tariffs are essentially a tax, and so he considers that an attack.
Did he say?
I don't think that's a controversial statement for him to make. I mean,
well, an
economists
attack.
would say
I mean,
that,
an
right?
attack sounds like there's some premeditated attacking.
Oh, a tariff
Did
is
he
a
say what he
tax,
would do
so-
differently?
Well, he talked about, yeah, he did. He talked about Chinese companies doing business here in terms of being listed on U.S. exchanges, and also shareholders of Chinese companies. Maybe this is a little close to Adam, but he said those people, why don't we start punishing Chinese companies that are listed here? And there's a whole range of options that, you know, President Trump has, and he talked about some of them, but President Xi as well. I mean, you know, there's that little Buick plant that GM has over there in China that's just sitting there cranking out cars. If things get ugly, don't think that the Chinese won't recognize that, and myriad other things.
Or the Ford plants that are over there, or the Caterpillar dealerships. Or, you know, I have to say there's something that's been really bothering me about this whole thing. Huawei, the big nasty Chinese company that, you know, we're told spies on us.
Right.
Okay. Maybe they do, but you know what? I'd like to see proof. If there's some sort of backdoor, if there's a piece of code, if there's some sort of wiring on the chip, whatever, show me this thing. Show me the backdoor that allows them to spy. And by the way, if you can't show me, then they should be allowed to sell their equipment. And that may not be a popular statement for an American guy to say about the big bad Chinese company, but I think you got to be fair.
I think that's a presumption of innocence, and I think that is how we should analyze most things in life, right? I mean, okay, you're saying this, show me. I think that's an excellent point. And there's been a paucity, an absolute paucity of evidence, as far as I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like too much emotion.
Well,
and
here's the
assertions
evidence.
and not enough facts.
The guy who founded the company, used to work for the People's Liberation Army.
No,
well, that would sort of
say it ain't
well, think
so.
about a lot of the people who work in the defense
talking about
industry.
Mark Cuban?
Yeah, but think about a lot of the you know, people who work for Lockheed Martin, et cetera. Many of those people used to work for the military.
Look at the revolving door.
Or even you know, Verizon, our parent company. I'm sure there are people who worked in the military, et cetera.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank
Well,
you. Voice of reason.
Getting back to Mark Cuban, you can watch the full interview on Influencers at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on Yahoo Finance, and of course, then you can watch it thereafter whenever you like.